Alright guys, welcome to my first ever channel of doing some toy reviews. So my name is Jordan here, and I've been thinking about what review to do in my first video here. I mean, this is my first time doing it, so I hope that I do it right. So after multiple considerations and all that, I've decided to make the review of this thing here. This is the bootleg version of Kamen Rider Kuuga Ultimate Form. The one that the original one is now, the price is way too expensive for normal collectors to have it. So this is produced by our beloved China with a very affordable price. So now let's take a look on the box here. Naturally the box looks like original except for the logo, and let's look at the side. Kamen Rider Kuuga Ultimate Form, yes. I think, oops, the box is damaged. Well, as usual, I mean, the shipments in China, from China to Malaysia, you cannot avoid that, right? So basically this looks about the same with original. Now let's do a slight comparison here with the original box. So the difference is just the logo over here. So let's say if somebody were to put this online showing this, let's say if you were to sell this and people ask you whether is this original or not, well, you know how to answer. Alright, okay, now let's try to open this first. Now first of all, this box, it does not come with the sticker, the round shaped stickers here. So yeah. Okay, now the first look of it, it looks quite okay. I mean, during the first glance of everything looks perfectly fine. Now look at this. Look at the eyes. Okay. Now basically everything inside is the same. They even have the manual. Yeah. Manual right here, but who needs the manual anyway, so you can just throw that away. Okay, so now you have this tool here. This is how it looks like now, the first glance. The body itself looks fine. Now let's take a look at the alternate hand parts. Well, as for the alternate hand parts, the logos is totally wrong. Now let's take a look at the original ones. Okay. So now let's compare the original ones here. Basically, with the first glance, everything is almost the same, except for the eye visor here, which is quite obvious. Okay, now as for the hand parts, the one on your right hand side here is the original, the one on the left hand side here is the bootleg version. Right now, if you look closely at the logo of the original one, it is very nicely done, and of course it's very clear. As for the bootleg version, well, you see, of course with the price that you pay for this is what you get. Okay, now let's open up this. The main character today is definitely the bootleg version, and it's not the original version. Okay, now first look at it. Well, everything is nice. Incredible. I mean, to my shock, to something that is out of my expectation, this is a very nicely built figurine. As you can see here, the joints, everything is okay. Wow, even here is tight. Okay, now as for the, let's try it. Oh, okay, the logo at the foot part here, the logo at the foot is not clear enough. As for the eye, okay, definitely the eyes here, you have a little bit problems with the eyes. The eyes is way too small. I don't know why do they do it like that. And of course you have a little bit of paint chips here and there. As for the color itself, well, it's quite good actually. I mean, the driver itself, it's not that well painted as you can see here. Look at, oh wow. Now look at the back here. The linings are actually okay, except for the head part here. Okay, the curve here, it does not appear in the original version of Kuuga. It's supposed to be flat and not curved like this. But meh, none of us actually look at the back anyway. So yeah, now look at this. Now let's try the joint. Let's try the joints. First, okay, yes. This can be twisted nicely. What about here? Yes, okay, everything is nicely done. Even the joints, the elbow joints, everything is quite tight. Okay, can rotate it up here. Look at the fist. I mean, of course, the logo of the fist here is not right. I think that is okay. Yeah. Look at the arm. Okay, now this is how you can lift up the arms. Okay, now look at this part here. Right, so it can be twisted this way, 360 degrees, no problem at all. No problem. Look at the body. Yes. Let's a little bit to the right, to the left. Let's fold it a little bit. Oops. Okay, that's not something breaking, alright. Yeah. And now look at the ball joints. Okay, now the another problem here with the bootleg version is that the hip joint here, both of the hip joint here seems a little bit too round and also too big if you were to compare with the original ones. Okay, now never mind. Let's see how it twists. Okay, as for this, wow, it is so tight. Well, this is not something you get from a bootleg version of figurine. I mean, let's compare it with the Kuuga Amazing Mighty or Kuuga Rising Mighty and everything. This is way tighter, and you know, when you first hold it, you feel the weight on your hand. You see, it's quite heavy. I mean, sorry, it's quite, the weight is the same like the original ones. Okay, now let's try. Okay, it can lift up to here, of course. Yes, to the back. Yeah, same. Okay. Okay, now the only loose parts are the feet actually. The foot joint here is actually kind of loose, but it's no big deal anyway. It's the same. I mean, as long as it can stand, it wouldn't be a whoa. Now this is very, very tight. Okay, now, alright, yeah. So now let's try to open up and see whether it can fold on it. Well, this is really, really tight. You know, I'm so afraid that this might damage the figurine, but let's just try anyway. Okay, that is a little bit. Okay, because the ball joint here is kind of big, so it's stuck somewhere in the middle. So I think this is as far as it can go. But well, look at all the paint jobs. I mean, the paint jobs itself is admirable actually. I mean, it's something that's to be praised for. Now look at the lines. The paint jobs is actually okay, except for some lines here. You can see that the gold painting is a little bit off the grid. Wow, technical mistake. Okay, now this is the hinge that they use here. Well, it's just normal, you just have to stick it back, and yeah, it's back to normal. Alright, and the eyes, of course the eyes itself is too small, but this can be fixed if you know how to fix it. It will look like original, and the part here is not well detailed. This part here also looks like it doesn't have an ear. Anyway, okay. So yeah, this is what you can do with it. Okay, the legs can fold to the front, the back, same. Okay, Now now look at how rough I play with it. It still stands nicely here. Alright, now let's take a look at the alternate hand parts and also the alternate heads that they give. First of all, now let's look at this head over here. So if you look at it, actually it's, of course, everything is so dark. The eyes itself is quite small, the eye visor, and the same as usual, the details on the side head here is not that good. And wow, now look at the curve here. I think it happens to every figurine of this bootleg version of Kuuga Ultimate Form. I think that happens. As for this, the joints, the hand parts, everything is okay, except for the logo. So if you know how to custom a sticker or probably some decals, you should be able to do it. Now let's see if you change the alternate hand parts and see how it is. Wow, it's quite tight. And wow, now this is a little bit hard to put it back. Okay, voila, this is done. If you were to consider this, I mean, for collectors who don't have the original version of Kuuga Ultimate Form, you can basically consider this. I mean, this is a way cheaper version of it. But of course, I mean, in the video here, I do not suggest you to buy any bootleg version. I mean, we should support original. But you know, some people, they are actually on a budget. So this is actually a pretty budgeted figurine that you can afford. It's very cheap. I mean, it's less than 100 ringgit Malaysia. So yeah, here's the one. Now let's see the original ones. Okay, now this is the original version of the Kuuga Ultimate Form. Now if you really look at it, if you can really notice the paint, the original version here, the paint itself is quite matte feel. It's quite matte, so it does not actually reflect on lights and all that. As for the bootleg version, you can see that, you know, with normal paint there's light reflection on the armor and everything. But nonetheless, all this can still be fixed if you know how to do some slight custom repaint jobs and all that. It shouldn't be a problem at all. So this is the difference. Look at the eyes, very obvious difference. Look at the logo on the hand parts. It is quite a huge difference. And of course, the hip joint here is quite different, right? So this is really something that is worth looking at. So for any of you who likes this figurine, yeah, you can just go ahead and buy it. And if you know how to custom it, it's even better. Okay, now this, I hope you guys like my video over here. You can, right? I'll leave some pictures at the end of the video for you guys to enjoy and see how does it look like in actual photo shoot.